Good. All right, so we're going to get started. All right, we're going to start with a small flow, just two main exercises, downward dog and pigeon. So we are essentially just going to move through from here, downward dog. We're going to hold it a few seconds, walk forward into pigeon. Okay, so we're just kind of going to hold each position for around 10 seconds each. Just really try and get into the glute here. And then when we go back, trying to get into the hamstrings. So we're just going to go through each leg 3 or 4 times, just try and warm up everything as well as stretch the glutes mainly. So from that pressure position, just walk back on the hands. Really try and dig those heels into the floor and try and keep the knees straight. So then it's really tough, as you can see, I'm struggling to do that. But just hold that position, not too long. When you start to get tired, walk forwards into the pigeon. Keep those hips square, feel the stretch in the glute, almost like you're trying to get the groin to the floor as well, so kind of push each leg apart. Keep square, you should feel it in the glute. If you don't, you can just lean forward as well. I definitely don't need to do that, so I'm not going to. All right, and then back up to downward dog. Hold that a few seconds. And then walk forwards. Other side for the pigeon now. And try and relax in the pigeon. Get that stretch. Start to control that breathing. And get in the right place. Okay, back to downward dog, but this time we're actually going to go up and stick a leg in the air as well. All the way up, get that leg high. The higher you can get it, the better. Squeeze the glute to get it up. And then into pigeon again on that right side now. Press start. And then we're going to go with the left leg as high as we can. Here we go. Back to downward dog, left leg. Oops. Like a guitar. Left foot in the air, all the way up, high as you can. Trying to keep it straight for this one. A bit longer, hold it a little bit. And then into pigeon. Better move that. Okay, so we're into the left side pigeon. A little bit longer. We've got one more. We're going to go leg up again, but this time we're going to bend the knee. We're going to try and bend the knee in that downward dog as much as we can. So back to downward dog. So we're going right side again. Leg goes up, but we bend the knee as much as possible. A little bit longer. And then into that pigeon again. Relax them shoulders in here. Good 10-second hold here. Start to control that breathing again. Okay, left side. Foot up, bend the knee. You have to squeeze those hamstrings hard to bend. A few more seconds. And pigeon. And again, get on top of that breathing. 4 seconds in with the nose. Long and slow out with the mouth. Couple more seconds. Good, okay. We're going to start our relaxed stretching now. So I've got my band back. We're doing the, well, what's sometimes called the break dancer. So 1 foot inside of thigh, this leg straight. Again, like all hamstring stretches, you can pull the toe up, you can point it forward, whatever you want to do, based on how tight it feels under the knee. So I'm just going to use my band to wrap around my foot because I can't reach my foot. And the goal is to get as low as possible, get the chest towards the knee, try and keep the legs straight. And we're just doing a minute each side. All right, here we go. So we're obviously working on one hamstring at a time. Sometimes we have tightness on one side rather than the other, and one side can limit the other side if you do both together. So it's good to do both separate sometimes. Press play on the timer. Still in. It's fine. Right. 10 more seconds, and then we'll swap sides. Okay, we'll swap sides. So we'll get straight in. Minute on here. If you need extra stretch in the back, you always can tuck the chin in. And you can also try and reach with the opposite side, which is going to stretch the lat a little bit more as well. Okay, lovely. Right, we're going to move on to the V sit. So that's legs apart, as wide as you can, and reaching forwards. So I don't have a hook point from a band this time, but essentially we've done it a few times. Legs apart, try and keep the legs straight, and you're going to try and lean over as far as possible. Okay. So we've got a minute on here. I'm going to use the corner of the sofa, try and pull myself in a little bit. All right, here we go. So you should feel a stretch in the adductors, so the groin, the inner thigh, possibly the hamstrings, possibly even the lower back, particularly where you will feel it in your lower back if your lower back is tight or if it's sore. If it is quite difficult, if like me you are stiff, sitting up is a challenge. Getting over, I can't feel a stretch. I have to pull on something. So if you're in the same boat, find something to pull on. Doesn't have to be anything. You don't need to pull hard. It doesn't have to be anything too solid. A little bit longer. So if you're feeling comfortable, maybe you can go a bit wider with your legs now, or you can still just try and pull further down. If your focus should be hamstrings, if you know they're tight, then keep them narrower. If the focus for you, if you want the focus to be more adductors and groin, then go a bit wider with the legs. All are good. You can really start to make things a bit more specific based on your own weaknesses. Okay, 5 more seconds. Good, nice work. Brilliant, okay. Next up, we are going to do just a little quad stretch to start. We're doing the night stretch, for some reason it's called that. So quad and hip flexor, the usual one. Tuck the bum under, glute on, and just hold. Feel it on the, if your right knee's down like mine, you want to feel it in the middle of the right quad, up to the right hip. We're just going to hold this. It's just a quick minute on each. We haven't stretched these yet, so it's always good to start with an easy one. We are going to do the one against the wall later. So important to loosen up a little bit, certainly for me. Yeah. When you're doing this, you probably might have noticed I moved my foot. So sometimes my foot wants to turn in to make it easier. Keep it in line with the knee and the hip. As soon as I did that, I felt a little bit of a better stretch. So you've got to try and remember to do that too. A few more seconds. All right, that's the minute. Let's swap round. So pay attention to your back foot. Where is it? Glutes on, ribs down, abs on. So as you really tuck in under, and that is then on full stretch, then you can worry about, should I be shifting forwards more? But don't feel like you have to. If you're already getting a good stretch, then you don't have to. We've got a minute here too. Get some good breathing in. Don't let that glute turn off. And just enjoy the stretch. Almost done. Keep the glute on, keep the ribs down. You shouldn't be feeling anything in your back. If you do, you're probably arching it or you're not squeezing from the glute. 2 more seconds. Good, okay. We are moving on to the wall stretch. So we are going to put our hands on the wall. To be fair, you can use a sofa or something as well. You can use sofa on your knees, if everyone's got one. Essentially, we are trying to get our head and chest through the arms. The goal is to stretch the lats here. If you do it on the wall, you get an extra hamstring stretch. I'll do it on the wall, and then I'll move to the sofa halfway through, just so you can see both variations. All right. So we're just going to hold for a quick minute. Hard for me to show you on the wall, so you just have to make do. So push the knees away, hands on the wall, so that we've got, so knees away from the body, pushing knees back, and hands on the wall here. Don't bend knees too much, because that's how we stretch the hamstrings, by pushing the knees back, just like a Romanian deadlift in the gym. So push the knees away, push the chest through, the arms. Arms can have a slight bend if it's more comfortable for you. A little bit longer. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the sofa, target my lats a little bit more. And you can see this one a bit clearer. So I'm on my knees, trying to push the head and chest through the arms. If you struggle with overhead pressing, this is a really good one for you. If you're doing it for that, then you do want to try and keep abs engaged as well. So you can see I'm letting my lumbar extend so I can go further and get more of a stretch. But if you want to improve overhead press, you should tuck the bum under, abs on a little bit, and then push in, because that's more specific to the movement. It's where you should be doing it. You'll still get a good stretch if you're tight as well. A little bit longer. Trying to keep a neutral head. Trying not to push through too hard. 5 more seconds, then you can ease out of that one. Okay, lovely. Good. Right. Next up, we are going to do the tough one on the wall. So that one is where we put our knee right to the back so the shin's vertical. Again, I'll show you on the sofa so you get a good view. It's going right in there. I'm really going to try and squeeze the glute by tucking the bum under. And then it's a case of, can you get up onto that foot? The goal, I'm going to extend my spine, which you shouldn't do, but the goal is to get all the way up there. For me to get there, I'm doing this. Not the goal. So don't push it before you're actually able to. All right. So we're going to build up to a minute on that, each side. It is a difficult stretch. So if you need a rest, take the rest. So we'll jump straight in. So the further back this standing foot, the easier the stretch. So you can start something low, like I have. And after 15, 20 seconds, I'm really going to try and get that foot further up. Keep trying to squeeze the glute on this side. And try and breathe through that tightness. Okay, so I'm going to try and edge my foot forwards a little bit. So it's much tighter straight away. I'll hold it 15, 20 seconds. I might have to go back down. If that's the case for you, that's fine. Keep trying to turn the glute on. As soon as you relax the glute, you'll notice it's so much easier in the quad. We don't want that. Oh, maybe a bit too much. So this one mainly targets the quadricep rather than the point of contact at the hip. So rather than the hip flexor, it is mainly a quad stretch. That would be the case until you can actually sit up quite a lot. Like the quad is the limiting factor for now. All right, let's see if we can go any higher. Really squeeze that glute now. So let's do a good 5 second, 10 seconds of hard. So big stretch. And then we'll relax. Oh, before we swap sides. Oh. All right, so get that leg in. Think about that bum tucking under principle, squeezing the glute. And when you're ready, go. Try and get that foot up any way you can. And then back to squeezing that glute and tucking that bum under. We tuck the bum under, we pull the ribs down so the abs are engaged, and we squeeze the glute all together. Pulls on that quad, that hip flexor position. So if you're starting to ease off, you can either squeeze the glute more, or you can move that foot. As soon as I move that foot forward, the glute just does not want to turn on. So I'll drop it back a bit. Same for you, if that's the case for you, do the same. We really want that glute on all the way, all the time. A little bit longer. We're going to get up to that 5 second big push soon. Couple seconds. Okay, so big stretch now, 5 seconds. Don't hurt yourself, don't go too far. We'll just make sure it's pretty tight. A few more seconds. And then relax. Release. Come out of the stretch. Nice and slowly. And then we are going to move on to the twisted one. So we are, do it from the side again. So it's the same muscle that we're trying to get in this position. Like this, okay. So, all right, wrong hand, sorry. Supposed to be, if your right foot's forward and we're stretching the left quad, the left hand is down. Like that, okay. So we're going to do that stretch for, what I put a minute on that one as well. All right, so here we go. If you're already in, stay in, that's fine. Oh. So we've already stretched these quite a lot, so I'm probably in a better position than you're used to seeing me in. You're probably in a better position as well. And you just got to fight through quite a bit of pain. Shoulders are sore. This is getting pretty tough on those too. Keep trying to squeeze that glute. Does help still. Oh, good. Okay, relax out of that one. We'll swap sides. When you're ready, we can get in. So we're straight in. Tight this one. So if it is too tight, you just push your bum back a little bit. If it's not tight enough or not stretching enough, push your hips forward into the floor more. Keep trying to squeeze the glute. Keep the ribs down a little bit so abs are on, and then, as usual, try and breathe through it again. A few more seconds. You got 5 more seconds. Keep going. Okay, good. Relax. Nice. Okay, we're going to do a little floor stretch on for the lower back. Like we've done a few times on the floor. Oh, need the timer. On the floor, nice and relaxed. And then one knee over the top. Trying to keep both shoulders on the floor. And then we'll try and pull the knee to the floor here. So hopefully you can see that. Knee up, bend the knee. And then twist. Try to twist the spine. Get the foot to the floor, knee to the floor. We're just going to hold that position for a good 30, 35 seconds. And then we're going to swap and we're going to do each leg twice. Keep on top of that breathing. Trying to breathe in through the nose and out through that mouth. Okay, spin, swap sides. You might get a few cracks, and that's all fine. In fact, it's quite nice to get them sometimes. Don't crank on the knee, don't pull too hard. Just get a light stretch in the lower back. Maybe you've got something in the glute, maybe even your pec stretches. That's all fine. We don't want any pain, so if you are getting pain, just ease off. A little bit longer, then we'll swap again. Okay, swap again. So we're going to do another 30 seconds on each. We're pulling that knee towards the floor. You're almost, you're kind of pulling yourself apart almost. Twisting yourself apart at least. Good. So if your knee can already touch the floor, the only other real progression you've got time, is to pull the knee up towards the chest. You might get a little bit more of a back or glute stretch. Okay, change sides again. Last side, last 30 seconds. You can also get somebody to help you do this to keep that chest down. If you ever want to do it outside of this. 20 seconds left. That's good. Nice work, guys. Good stretch. Yeah. Hopefully you don't feel a pinch in the hip. Some people do. Again, there's not much we can do on that one here in this stretch, but it does suggest some maybe like a hip impingement thing that you need to get looked at. 10 more seconds. Okay. All right, that'll do. Relax there. Next up, we have a good 2 minutes of bottom up squatting. So, not what it sounds like. So the one where we squat from pull to the bottom, and then we try and stand. So we're doing 2 minutes of that. If you need the break, take it. You'll see me probably get tired and need a break, and that's all fine. Okay, so 2 minutes. Here we go. So squat position, pushing the knees out with the elbows, grab the toes, try and pull the bum down. But I'm keeping my heels on the floor. I'm doing my best to straighten my back. You can see it's a little bit rounded at the bottom. It's fine because there's no load on the spine, but just know I am trying to straighten. Okay, and then try and stand up. Keep weight through the toes so that you kind of pins your fingers. And we're trying to push the knees back. We're trying to straighten the legs, trying to lift the bum to the ceiling. Really trying to stretch out those hamstrings and lower back areas. Okay, if you're happy with your positioning for the squat, go back in. If not, just widen your stance a little bit. We're really trying to sit as low as possible, pull the chest up, keeping the heels down, knees are out, elbows are forcing the knees out over toes. Good. Okay, and then start to stand up again. Again, weight through some toes so that we're pinning our feet, our fingers down. Really trying to get those legs straight now. Oh, almost there. Good. Keep going. That's good. So because we've got 2 minutes, if you need a rest, take it. If you're good, we'll carry on. I'm going to go a little bit wider with my feet just for a little bit of additional stretch on the inner thigh. Sink low, pull the chest up, keep the knees out, try and stay as upright as you can with your chest. Maybe you want to wiggle in there a bit. You can bounce a bit, maybe just force yourself into that position. It gets quite tough. Okay, oh, and then start to stand up again. Oh, this is it, this one. I'm finishing here with this hamstring stretch now. Maybe you get a little lat stretch, maybe you get a lower back stretch. It's all good. But hopefully you can now straighten your knees. I'm just going to hold this hamstring stretch for a short while. And I want you to now let go of your toes and just hang there. Try and keep those legs straight again. Just hang. Nice and relaxed. Can you touch the floor? Is it easy? Can you get your knuckles? Just hang. And wait to go a little bit wider with your feet. See if you can go lower. See if you get a different hamstring stretch. If you are going dizzy, feel free to stand up. There's too much blood to the head. Re-straighten those knees. Every time we move or relax, they just want to bend. And we're going to go wider again. Re-straighten those knees. Keep hanging, keep relaxing. I want the upper body, your arms just to be floppy. Just relax. And then we're going to go wider again. So we're starting to get into that groin region now, the adductors. If you're tight, you might not feel it if you're not. Hamstrings are still being stretched. Still floppy arms, still relaxing. Lower back stretches on. And then just kind of feel free to rotate from side to side with your torso, almost like you're trying to lean towards one foot and then the other. Just feel different stretches. And then once more, a little bit wider with the legs. Don't go too wide, because otherwise, if you've got socks on a carpet, you might not be able to stop. All right, so we're just relaxing now. Maybe we've got hands all the way on the floor like me, or maybe you might even be onto elbows, who knows? But we're just trying to get as low as we can, keeping the knees straight, being floppy, relaxed. And then just kind of walk forward onto the hands, drop onto your knees, and then there's us finished. Oh, good. Well, thanks, guys. What time? Perfect. Almost there.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.